Good morning, CSL Simi Valley. Welcome to Sunday. Welcome to Virch. Good to have you with us for our virtual church, our worship celebration service. What a week it has been, and it went so fast. Are your weeks going by fast? I mean, we've all been joking about it, but it seems to come up. There's this day, that day, and the other day. That's all that seems to happen. They're just running together, all together, one right after the other. Whew, and so much in the world. So many opportunities for prayer this week. My heart goes out, and I hope your prayers have been going out to the citizens of Beirut, Lebanon, for the explosion that took place there. We're still seeing strong protests in our streets, people standing up for equality and equity and social justice issues. We're dealing with the COVID house arrest, I call it. Here we are leading the world. Not the kind of thing we want to lead the world in, but leading the world in that in experiencing COVID, and then our own spiritual community, holding our community together. And so grateful that you've chosen to spend some time with us here this morning, holding the community together through your comments in the comment section. And Reverend Johanna's monitoring that for you right now. Coming on for our Zoom dinner we had last night. You may have seen in the preamble of the show, there was the comedy night. There's more coming up around that from Jason Love. So a lot of things we're doing, a silent movie night coming up, a lot of things we're creating so that we can continue to have community and find ways for safer distancing activities as well, while we also hold together the quality of our spiritual experience through the Virch service that are offering for you here and all the people that support that. So that's some of what we do to keep our vision and our mission alive, praying for the world and for our own self and our own good, knowing that wholeness is unfolding in every way, and knowing that our spiritual teaching is one of those in the world that can help create a world that is working better for each and every one of us. Join me as we say our vision and mission statement, which is outlined by the kind of behaviors that we participate in. Here it is right now. We're a community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God in gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do.
Good morning and welcome to this morning's live Virch, CSL Simi Church in the virtual world. Thank you so much for being a part of our worship celebration. It is my pleasure to bring you this morning's announcements. This week's Wednesday night experience starts with a little movement for the spirit and body. Join us at 5:30 for Yoga with Debbie. She calls it spiritual yoga for everyone, no special skills needed. Here's the Zoom information for yoga. The meeting ID is 878-5693-8671, and the passcode is 253932. The Wednesday night experience continues at 7 p.m. when Reverend Stephen puts a spotlight on darkness. He will deliver a short talk followed by a Q&A about darkness, black holes, and the dark matter and how they relate to the conversation about diversity and inclusion in the nation and the world. Okay, so here is the Zoom room info for Spotlight on Darkness. The meeting ID is 256-864-274. The passcode is 473831. Now, most of you know that I love to laugh, and as a comedian, I like to make people laugh. Well, it makes me especially happy and joyful to tell you about this upcoming event that we have. August 22nd at 6 p.m., it's the CSL Virtual Comedy Night. To share more about it, here is comedian Jason Love.
Hello, Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Jason Love, and I am so excited for our virtual comedy night on Saturday, August 22nd at 6 p.m. I'm working with my friend Reverend Stephen Rambo at the Simi Valley location. We're going to go out to lots of locations. The point being to just relieve the insanity of this weird movie we're in, and also to build community. And for me, Center for Spiritual Living is where this whole thing started all those years ago when I finally allowed myself to want what I want and to go after it. So, what a treat to do this all these years later. And what a treat to share with you some of my favorite comics. We got so lucky. On this lineup, we've got Carlos Oscar, who was Princess Cruise Line's Entertainer of the Year. Remember cruise lines, everybody? It was such a simpler time, wasn't it? People shook hands and hugged. We had so much toilet paper, we'd throw it over each other's houses as a lark. We've also got Gina Stallhaven. She won the San Francisco International Comedy Competition. We've got Kayvon, who's been on everything: Tonight Show, Last Comic Standing, more recently, Bring the Funny on NBC. And we also have Johnny Beaner. Yeah, that's his name, Johnny Beaner. He was on Letterman. He's got a dry bar special. You guys are in for a treat on Saturday, August 22nd at 6 p.m. Mark the date. We are asking only a love donation, but if you don't have it, don't sweat it. Just come and laugh with us. We want to do this together. So, signing off, I'm Jason Love. We'll see you guys on August 22nd.
Great comics from the comfort of your own space and free? Could you ask for much more? I couldn't. I will be there, and I hope you will be too. Again, register today using this link, bit.ly/CSL comedy. After completing the registration, you will receive a unique to you access code for the evening, a virtual ticket for the virtual comedy. If you miss any of that, there will be notices in upcoming weekly e-blasts and on our website calendar. I want to remind you about our weekly virtual offering from Dr. Susan. Special lessons for the children in our community and beyond. It is called Play and Learn with Dr. Susan. Lessons are posted to our YouTube channel, CSL Simi Valley, each week. She also streams live on Sunday mornings at 9:30 through the center's website. Now, many of you have been tuning in to Reverend Stephen's Facebook page, Practicing Oneness at One. It's on hiatus for August, but it will return Tuesday, September 1st. The center's practitioners and ministers are available to support you whenever you need. Follow the prompts on our website to find practitioner contact information. You can also call the office and leave your prayer request. For friends who missed this live Facebook broadcast or simply don't do Facebook, they can find today's service on YouTube. It will be uploaded later today. Now, Upgrade Virch is our after-service fellowship where we discuss today's talk, ask questions of Reverend Stephen, and we can pray with a practitioner or simply connect with other community members. A link will be posted in the Facebook comments window near the end of service today. Welcome to all of you from viewing wherever you are. We're so grateful that you have chosen to spend the time with us. Now, here's Sherry singing one of my favorites, Holy, Holy.
morning, CSL Simi Valley. I'm so happy to be here this morning. I miss your hugs, and I can't wait to be together. I will read the affirmation, and then I'm going to ask you to read it with me. I willingly inventory the contents of my mind, embracing my strengths, healing my biases, and deepening in my realization that I am one with all that is. So please read it with me. I willingly inventory the contents of my mind, embracing my strengths, healing my biases, and deepening in my realization that I am one with all that is. My reading today is entitled the same as our talk title. What's in your wallet? As the train speeds towards next station, the TT was busy in checking the passengers' tickets. Suddenly he noticed a wallet lying on the floor under a seat. He asked everyone around, "Is this your wallet? Did you lose it?" An old man came forward and said, "Yes, I have. It's mine." ITT looked at him and he was a little worried because the man didn't look like he could have a nice wallet. "Prove it," he says. "Prove to me this belongs to you." "Sir, it's a black leather wallet." "All right, but a lot of people have a black leather wallet." "But I have seen it. You've seen it in my hand. Anyone can say that they saw it." "Well, that doesn't prove anything." "Well, what can I tell you? I had a picture of my wife and my children, but they're all gone now. So now I have a picture of Krishna." The old man poured his heart out. "The wallet was gifted to me by my father. I was a young man. I had a picture of my parents, and now they're passed away. When I married, I have a picture of my wife, and then she left me. And when I had a child, I put the picture of the child in, but my son has his own family, and all the things that he does himself, he doesn't think of me anymore. So I put the Lord's picture in." Surprised at what he'd just heard, the TT gave the man the wallet. And as the passengers got off the train, the station had come into play, and the TT got off the train and went into the bookstore and placed a photo of the God in his wallet. I ask you, what's in your wallet? Whose photo have you put on your computer desktop or phone? What are your priorities in life? It's wisdom if we can learn from this story. May the light of understanding be with you always, and so it is. It's time for a treatment, so let's come together, shall we? Take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you'd like to, and come with me. Right here and right now, I step into the wonderful unknown place, the place where all possibilities happen, the place where God dwells within me. This is who and what I am, and this is what I came here to be. I open my mind and my life to accept all of the good and to know that what is mine to do, I have the courage to do it. I let go of anything that holds me down, and I soar because this is the time to step forward. This is the time to give love unconditionally. This is the time to care and give compassion. I am so grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for this opportunity right here and right now. And I release these words into the law of mind, knowing as they're said or before they're said, that God's Spirit within us moves out and heals the world. Together we say, and so it is. Namaste.
Aloha CSL Simi Valley. It's Faith Rivera streaming to you from Hawaii. And yes, we may be an ocean apart, but I know that really we are always forever one in the heart and mind of God. Just like this song I'll be singing for you entitled Thing Called Life that I wrote, inspired by Ernest Holmes on this truth of our oneness. So this is for you. Today is the day I will change my luck. I will find 3 pennies and they'll be hands up. I will walk like a queen in my tennies and jeans, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from that magical one, I am part of this thing called a life, yeah. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. Today is the day I'll remember to see only God, only good happening through you and me. I will not forget all the treasures due me, 'cause I know where I come from the stars and the sun, from the magical one. I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. Today is the day I'll be more of myself, love my skin, where I've been, and everyone else. No more push, no more pull, simply flow as I go, 'cause I know where I come from the stars and the sun, from that magical one. I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the stars and the sun, from that magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. I am loved, oh so loved, by this thing called life.
It's that time again for our gap meditation, God awareness place. It's 3 minutes to just close your eyes and go within and allow yourself the time to breathe and let God through and come in. So I'll do the time. You just close your eyes and breathe. Oh, I don't know about you, but that felt good to me. It's so easy to do. It doesn't take a lot. Just breathe. That's a meditation. Just allow yourself, if you're getting angry about anything, to just take a minute. That's all it takes to calm down and say, God is here too. It doesn't take anything to just calm down. Thank you so much for being here.
Again, it is my greatest joy to be here with you today. I'll be sharing this song now called Together that I wrote with Sean Galloway, celebrating the power you and I have, that we have together as one. Enjoy. Together we take a stand for love. Together we make a change for good. Together we break the chains of sorrow. Together we live the truth. Together we raise our voice for peace. Together we sing and jump for joy. Oh, together we move, oh, we groove, yeah, we dance. Oh, together we live the truth. 'Cause in every part of me there's a part of you, oh yeah, alright. And when I'm loving me, I'm loving you, oh yeah, alright. Today we live the truth and the future's bright. Oh, we oh, oh, we oh, we oh, the future's bright. Oh, we oh, we oh, we oh. Together we walk or talk with spirit. Oh, together we boldly shape our dreams. Oh, together we share this life of freedom. Oh, together we live the truth. Oh, yes. 'Cause in every part of me there's a part of you. Oh, yeah, alright. And when I'm loving me, I'm loving you. Oh, yeah, alright. Today we live the truth and the future's bright. Oh, we oh, we oh, we oh, the future's bright. Oh, we oh, we oh, we oh.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Faith Rivera, awesome. Thank you. Those songs. The one you wrote, this thing called Life with the three pennies. I told Faith, I didn't know she knew this, that she mentioned three pennies in that song. And when Dr. Hornaday was going to build the Founders Church and put that out to the congregation at the Wiltern Theater with Dr. Holmes together, a little girl came up to him afterwards and said, here, Dr. Bill, and dropped three pennies in his hand and said, now you can go build your church. So that's just the one mind. So Faith writes a song using this thing called life, Dr. Holmes' favorite way of describing the spiritual experience, this thing called life, and they used three pennies to build the center, and it all comes together. I just love that, and we are all together, as she said in another song. And thank you, Reverend Maggie, too, for that talk, that the TT, the ticket taker on the train, and how he worked with that man to go to that spiritual understanding that of what he carried in his wallet. And that is indeed the talk for today. What's in your wallet? What's in your wallet? Now, we hear that. There's a certain company has made that quite a kind of a regular phrase, but I'm going to stretch this and talk about what's in your wallet in a different way. But I thought, like, what is? Okay, so in my wallet, there's my driver's license, and ooh, there's some money, yay. And then credit cards, all right. And there's a membership to Huntington Gardens, and my frequent flyer pass at Fatburger, which I don't get to go to as much because, well, as much as I love them, it's probably better if I eat the veggie burgers. So, and then a credit card, a health care card, and the charge card for my car. I stick this up against the charger, and it starts the electric charger for the car. Oh, I got a gift card from Nordstrom's a long time ago, and I got to do that. Oh, yes. And what would life be without your club card to your local bulk store, right? And then, and Auto Club, got to have Auto Club, and got to have the ATM card. I don't know if you got that stuff, but what's in your wallet? What's in your wallet, huh? Think about that. And receipts, it's in the wallet. And all these things, photos in the wallet, and receipts. It made me think about that and how, we keep a receipt in the wallet for things that we buy that we might need to return, so we need the receipt, or coupons in there for getting a discount on something, and photos, which brought me to a thought about, do you remember the show Let's Make a Deal? Let's Make a Deal, right? And years ago, our family would get together and watch Let's Make a Deal. And years ago, we were watching Let's Make a Deal. And lo and behold, who shows up on Let's Make a Deal? Paul Rambo's sister, Renee. Some of you know Paul Rambo because he came to the church a few times. Well, he has a sister. Sister's name is Renee. And she was on Let's Make a Deal. And when the curtain opened, what was his name? Jay Stewart or whatever, he announced, and it's a new car. She wanted a car on Let's Make a Deal. But that's not why I mentioned Let's Make a Deal. But that was cool. No, I mentioned Let's Make a Deal because it related to this wallet thing. And the thing about the wallet is the things that are in our wallet are the things we have value for. And there was this episode on Let's Make a Deal where Monty Hall wanted to ask a father if he had photos of his children in his phone. Now, this was, in the 70s and 80s, so it was a different time, a little bit different time. And none of the fathers, one father had a picture of his children in his wallet. I said phone, didn't I? Because that's where we put our pictures now. We don't put them in our wallet. But one had it in his wallet, but Monty Hall had a caveat. He wanted a picture of a father with their kid doing something together. Because the picture that the father had was the school photo that we used to take. Remember we used to line up for school photo day, and you get those little ones that you would give to the people that you kind of liked, and the bigger one you give to your grandparents, and then the really big one you give to your parents, Yeah, well, that's all the photo that he had, right? And I was just thinking that's what all this, what's in your wallet, that's when it came to me, is that we put stuff of value to us in our wallets. Well, now, the metaphor, and what's the metaphor for? What's a metaphor for? Well, okay, here's this metaphor. This metaphor is that our mind, our consciousness, is like our wallet. It's like our wallet. It's the place that we hold our thoughts, our ideas, the place we hold our identification as to who we are, the things that we hold that are important to us, the kinds of, the way we see our health, the associations that we keep. All that stuff is in our minds, the way we keep the valuable things in our wallets. Now, periodically, you clean out your wallet. you go through and you throw away the old receipts, and you cut up the old credit cards you don't need anymore, and you get a new driver's license, so you put a new driver's license in there, and occasionally, those old wallets that had the plastic sleeves, they start to break, and you got to get a new one of those. So we go through these processes of changing something physical that holds our valuables, but do we take the time to change what is mental and to empty this consciousness wallet that's holding these areas of values? Because we must clean our minds too. And in the process of cleaning the mind, what I'm finding that it reveals what is important of self. That inner journey reveals what is important of self. It talks about what is my self-expression. How do I show up in the world? Right? Hold on a moment there. How do I show up in the world? Where am I in common with another? Where am I in dependence with another? And I don't think we understand how much commonality there exists between all of us and how much we have dependence on all of us. But Ernest Holmes is here to remind us on a regular basis. He says this. He says, we are so constituted that the greatest self-expression includes our relationship with others and our relationship with everything in life. We are so constituted that the greatest self-expression, our greatest self-expression, includes others, our relationships, and our relationship with everything in life. That's how we find out who we are, by the contents of our mind and how those contents connect with each other. But we also frequently choose, rather than to relate, we choose to divide. That's what's going on so much in our country today. We choose to divide, but it is our choice. It's in our innate desire to actually choose oneness. We have to work at it to go beyond oneness. We have to stretch credulity a little bit and start to make divisions and create separations. But the reality is that we are born in this experience of a one life, this thing called life. And we possess the capacity to see the oneness. We possess the strength to see the oneness. And that same capacity that we possess, that same strength, that same power to know the one, we also have that same capacity for the potential to heal ourselves from our biases that cause us to divide rather than to relate. But too often, when we do relate to the other, we only relate to that things that we see in common. We only relate to the stuff that feels comfortable to us. And that's where it's really important to spend a moment looking at what's in your wallet. What's in the place where you hold the valuable ideas of who and what you are and how you relate to the world. Thomas Merton says, if in loving people we do not love what they are, but only their potential likeness to ourselves, then we do not love them. We only love the reflection of ourselves we find in them. That Trappist monk knew what he was talking about, hanging out in the hills of Kentucky, writing in his space. If we only love what we like in another, we're loving the reflection of what we see, but we're not loving the wholeness of who they are. We're not recognizing that God is everywhere present. Made me think about this, just how vast. At one point, after hearing that quote, after finding that quote, I was thinking about that we only love the part that reflects back to ourselves, but we don't understand that we're all Heinz 57s. We're all Heinz 57s. Remember that? You get a dog from the pound, and you go, what kind of dog is that? Well, it's a Heinz 57, which means it's a mutt. It's a whole bunch of stuff coming together. And so I thought, where did that Heinz 57 come from? Of course, it comes from Joseph Heinz and his company, Heinz 57 sauce, Heinz 57 tomato ketchup, Heinz 57 this, that, and the other, pickles and all that. That's where he started out with pickles. So I went and looked at it, and really, Heinz 57 has nothing to do with the number of ingredients. No. Joseph Heinz picked that because when he was trying to come up with a slogan, he wanted to come up with a slogan that related to his company, and his company had a lot of products. And he made so many different things that he started counting up, and he got to 58, 56, 57, 58, 59. At 59, he stopped because for some reason, 57 connected with him. He liked the idea of 57. He felt like it said something. And to this day, 57, Heinz 57, has been a major brand. This guy, he was off the charts. He was so ahead of his time. He was one of the first people to use organics, all vegetable. He used glass containers. His whole idea was was quality. It was more about quality than quantity. And his company, he was also one of the first global companies. Forget McDonald's and Coca-Cola. Heinz 57 was such a global company that when he started a franchise of his company in England, it was so successful that the British thought that his successful company came from Britain and imported to America, not from America, and came to Britain. He was in China. He was in Japan. He spread everywhere this Heinz 57 idea. And what that shows me is that there is more in common in us than we can count. More than 57 things. There's more in common for us than we can count. Joseph Heinz proved that. He proved that God is everywhere and in everyone. And he was a very religious man, by the way. You know, I think about God being everywhere and in everyone. It dawns on me that when we are born, we're not born with any friends. We make our friends. And we're also not born with any enemies. We make our enemies. And even our relatives are not guaranteed to be our friends, which is why we get to make friends, right? Friends are God's way of making up a relative, so they say. Not all of us have that situation, thank God, right? But see, this idea that came to me, though, is that we choose. We know, yes, God is everywhere present. God is in everyone. We're all Heinz 57s. We're all a combination of a lot of things, but we tend to love what's most common and what's easy and most comfortable for us. We don't want to stretch and go outside our comfort zone. We don't want to go outside of our wallet to something bigger, to a newer idea. We choose what we like and we choose what we dislike. And the thing about what we choose when we dislike is often we choose to dislike a person instead of an action. We assign an action that someone does to that person, and then we decide we don't like that person. But really, what is it? It's the action that we may not be liking. And then we choose to get angry. And that anger leads us to hate. And sometimes that hate and anger, we attach it to that one person. That person that's not like us, that's different than us, and we demonize that person. We get angry at that person so much so that we're just venomous about it, and we're drinking poison thinking they're going to die, but it's affecting us because we have not understood sometimes that we're all Heinz 57s and we all relate to one another, and we're not born with any kind of enemy or friend. We create those by our choices. The truth of the matter is we get to look for God in everything, in every situation. That's why I started out talking about Beirut and talking about COVID and talking about what's happening in the streets today. Because we get to choose not the people and get angry at the people who've caused these things, get angry at the actions that are taking place, and then we go and from a clear mind, we move into taking action. Ernest Holmes gives a really good thought here for us to share and think about. He says, Let us try to find God in ourselves and in each other, and not be afraid to look for him, to look for her, to look for it in human events. Let us try to find God in ourselves and in each other, and not be afraid to look for God in human events. Not to be afraid to look for God in the actions that are taking place, in all of the actions that are taking place. We see like the bombing in Beirut. We get to understand that we need to be more responsible about what we do with our waste products in the world. We need to be more responsible about how we store those waste products in the world. We get angry at the action of racism and systematic injustice that's happening in our country, and the people that have benefited and continue to cause that system to stay in place. We get mad at them, but it's really the action. And God is in that action causing us to see it so that we have an opportunity to heal it. This is about getting in there and revealing and periodically cleaning out the mind so we can have a better idea. See, our mental inventory of what's going on in the world is how we can reveal more God in the world. By looking at the actions. Yes, hold people accountable. I'm not saying that they're not responsible. But I'm saying that the actions that take place is what we want to heal and want to change. And we can change those actions. The people that are participating in those actions have an opportunity to change as well. But that happens when we stop drinking the poison expecting the other person to die. When we begin to develop a clear head, and then we can see the divine harmony that's showing up everywhere. And when we see divine harmony showing up everywhere, then the discord in the world begins to fade, begins to dissipate. See, old ways are always trying to become new. Everything is trying to become new. The universe is in love with novelty and complexity and expression and growth and expansion. The deal is, how are we going to do that? How are we going to participate in that? How are we going to move that expansion into a place that provides for more of that divine harmony to show up in the world? Are we going to keep everything the same in our wallets all the time? Or are we going to relate to it and look at it and shift things around? You know, when your wallet's shopping, talking about the same. See, we all have the same wallet. When your wallet's shopping, in the wallet, there's pockets and there's inserts. You know, the wallets are basically similar, like all of us, basically similar. But it's the contents are different. The contents are different. But the thing about what's similar is that we all want happiness. None of us wants to suffer. That's our nature, to want to be happy and to not to suffer. All the wisdom teachers have told us that. Jesus went and came and told us that it's all love. And the Buddha said that it's compassion. And Confucius said it's about order. And Lao Tzu said it's about no action and all action takes place, about living in the way. We're all looking at ways to bring about the end of suffering and the experience of more happiness in life. We all want equal access to these happinesses, to this less suffering. We all want equal access to the divine gifts. And Spirit is saying yes. Spirit's saying yes. Get your head straight. Go through and take a look at your biases. Look at your potentials for healing. Look at the ways that you want to stand into your strengths and embrace those strengths. And I'm ready to give it to you. The Dalai Lama has a wonderful phrase, a lovely practice for us. And he says that, just saying yes to Spirit, he says, in our meditation, we must work at the cultivating of attitude that just as I myself have the desire to be happy and overcome suffering, so do all others. And just as I have a natural right to fulfill this aspiration, so do all others. This is our journey. We all get to do this. This is our call as members of the human species. This is our call to help everyone see more happiness, to help everyone overcome suffering, because we are all in this together. And as we do this, as we all see this and appreciate the interdependence in life, it makes it easier for us to share in the other receiving the same benefits that we receive. You know, think about this. Your livelihood. You don't get it without the benefit of others. You have a livelihood because you're being of service to someone else, and they're participating in receiving that service and then saying thank you for that service by paying you, either through your boss or pay your boss, and your boss pays you, right? Your dwelling, the house that you live in. You didn't build it. Well, some of you built it, but even if you built your own house, you had to go to a store and pick up the materials that someone had to mine and mill for you so you could build the house. Sustenance, that Costco card, when I go there, somebody is stocking the shelf. Somebody brought the stuff to the store. Somebody put the stuff in a box to be sent to the store. We're all always working from the contribution of others. Success or fame. If you're successful or famous, somebody has to buy your product. Somebody has to go, yay, that was a great song, Faith. Right? All life is a result of the contribution of others. And when that contribution comes from the heart, it is so powerful. Back to Joseph Hines for a minute. One of his phrases was, heart power is stronger than horsepower. Heart power is stronger than horsepower. Yeah, we can do and get angry and get upset and all these kind of things, but if we give our heart to the action of doing, absolutely. But when we give our heart into that, when we activate love, that's when it gets more powerful. The other thing that Joseph Hines did, he was one of the first people to put his product in clear bottles. Now, back to the metaphor, and what's the metaphor for? Here, the metaphor this time is for letting us see that if we live a life of transparency, so people can see the quality that we are, we can live a life of vulnerability, so people can see our wounds, because through our wounds, people get to hold on to you. You know, it's interesting in the story of Jesus the Christ coming back, when the Messiah came back and he showed himself. He said, feel into my wound. Feel into my vulnerable spot. That was a place to hold on to the experience of God being made manifest in human form, to hold on to it. When we let people into our wounds, they can hold on and help us heal. That's transparency. That's how we experience unity in life. So maybe it's not about getting another wallet, a new wallet, but putting new contents in the wallet. So instead of having an ID that says a driver's license says you're in California, how about an ID that says I'm a human citizen? How about my address is the planet Earth? Or how about the club card for your big box store, instead of the club card being Costco or Sam's Club or wherever else you might go? How about if it's LOM, the law of mind that has limitless purchasing power and no fee creativity? Can we live in that space? Can we put the new contents in our consciousness and accept that there is a divine intelligence that knows, and follow the impulse? We all get the impulse, but we sometimes don't follow it because we're either looking at others and seeing the reflection of ourselves and beginning to like that, instead of seeing the differences that make them more unique and more special in the world, bring the tapestry of life to us. Maybe we're not in a clear head space, so we're not seeing the divine harmony. So discord is everywhere instead of discord fading, right? But if we can follow the impulse and follow that call to our greater yet to be, then what we can see is that out of confusion, when we accept this divine intelligence, out of confusion, if we go into the gap, into that silent space and allow the wisdom to rise up, out of that confusion, we'll find certainty. Out of doubt, when we go into a calm, clear head, when we've reassessed what's in our wallet, when we've examined our biases, when we've looked for the commonalities, out of doubt, we can see faith arising. We can rise above partiality. We can rise above the kind of discrimination that puts others down, and discern and discriminate how to bring others up instead. See, life is asking something from us. Ernest Holmes tells us, life is only asking this: to play the game of life the way it is supposed to be played, in unity and cooperation with others. Can you play the game of life in unity and in cooperation with others? And to the ask that Dr. Holmes gives us, I suggest this reply that he also gives us. To the ask, we say, here I am. I am truth. I am wisdom. I am love. I am peace. I am eternal goodness. Accept me. Say it out loud to yourself. Here I am. I am truth. I am wisdom. I am love. I am peace. And I am eternal goodness. Accept me. And in that acceptance, you shifted the contents of your mental wallet to a wider view of the unity of all life. Join me as we say our affirmation together. I willingly inventory the contents of my mind, embracing my strengths, healing my biases, and deepening my realization that I am one with all that is. It's time now for our healing prayer. Wow. Sometimes I don't know where the time goes. As we go into prayer together, I invite you to settle into your spiritual love station, wherever that may be right now, and center yourself. Check in with the body. How are you feeling today? How did you wake up today? With your mind stayed on spirit? Or was your mind fluctuating around the discord, the doubt, and the uncertainty? If we're in that other space of discord, doubt, and uncertainty, what were you uncertain about? Where was the doubt? What was the discord, the dis-ease? Now, flip the idea. If the disease, the dis-ease, the discord, the uncertainty was about finances, affirm infinite finance, limitless supply, full substance. If the discord was around health, see that there is a perfection at the center of your being that is whole and perfect and complete. If the discord was around relationship, know that there is a faith in knowing that the divine presence says yes to unity and cooperation and collaboration. This is how we use our spiritual mind treatment. We see the condition, we recognize what it is, and then we shift to a space of faith and certainty and understanding. Here we are now. There's one life. That life is God. That life is my life. That life is your life. This is the life of every person in our mind right now, every person listening to my voice, every person who will listen later today, and every entity. For this prayer is not just for the human species. This prayer is for everything that is alive on planet Earth, including planet Earth itself. And simply knowing that the divine presence that has made this experience for us to have here called life is right now prepared and willing and able to bring a higher experience of that life to each and every person here. By our assignment and acceptance of the intelligence and the knowledge, knowing that good unfolds here and now with ease and in grace as we reveal through our examination of what we hold in our consciousness and discard what no longer works and accept that there is a truth unfolding and that untruth is for good, for the end of suffering, for the joy and the happiness for each and every entity on the planet. We have the capacity, we have the knowledge, we have the awareness, we have the method, we have the power. Now I ask for acceptance. I accept for each and every person here. And in gratitude, I release this prayer into a perfect law. This is yes, yes, and so it is. Thank you for being here for that. Thanks for everyone who's helping to put the service together today. And we have more music from dear Faith Rivera. Oh, she's with her husband and her kids on the coast of Hawaii for this one. This is so sweet. We'll take you to Hawaii and Faith Rivera.
No resistance to you. Do with me what you will. Oh yeah. Learn to go in the flow of things. No resistance to you. No resistance to you. No resistance to you. Being short on time is passing days. Can't seem to get them dishes done. Feels like my probe is my true home. I eat cheeseburgers on the run. And I feel like I try, oh, to find some control. But my life is taking me on a ride of its own. Gotta tell myself to have no resistance to you. I surrender completely to you. Do with me what you will, my Lord. Learn to go in the flow of things, no resistance to you. Oh no, do with me what you will for me. I've got to go in the flow of things. Oh no, there's more to it than it seems. I've got to walk with my back to the wind, no resistance to you. Oh Lord, no resistance to you. Oh, no resistance, no resistance, no resistance to you. No resistance, no resistance, no resistance to you. No resistance, no resistance, no resistance to you. No resistance, no resistance, no.
Wow, thank you, Faith. Whew, that was nice. Get to go to Hawaii for a little bit this morning. Because of how Facebook works and the lag time between me speaking and your comments, just want everyone to know, yes, thank you for putting your prayer request in the comments list because we collect all of them and we pass them out to our practitioners throughout the day. And because Spirit knows when you set your intention, because there's only now, when you set your intention and I do the prayer, it works in your behalf. But I also want to say especially out to Nancy Fuller, to Deborah Thomas, and to Maggie. We got your prayer requests. We'll be giving those to our E-Corps, to our ecclesiastical team, and they will pray over your prayer requests throughout the week as we do every Sunday. So anytime during the service you want to put in a prayer request, you put it into the comment. We are collecting all of those and we share them with our practitioners, and I pray them in my own spiritual practice as well during the week. So just know that you are held in the mind of God by those that are working on your behalf through our Center of Spiritual Living in Simi Valley. Okay. The other thing we're doing is we're highlighting occasionally different members of our church and their comments around the practice of giving, of tithing, and supporting our center as we continue to find ways to keep everything present, make some upgrades for the center. So when we come back in person, you're gonna love what you see when you come back. We're working on some things there, and so all of this takes it takes dollars and cents to make this work. But there's also something about giving that works on the soul, that works on the spirit, and some of the members of our center who have felt that. Mary DiVincenzo recently gave a message like that, Johanna last week, and today John Newbill has a message for you.
Hi, it's John Newbill, and I'm here for a moment to talk about tithing. And I thought, what better place to talk about tithing than in a room full of treasure? As you can see, that's where I am right now. And what is tithing? Well, tithing is the tithing of time, talent, and treasure. And tithing has been a part of my life for about eight years in earnest, I would say. About 8 years ago, I took a class here at the center. Marianne Giblin was teaching it, and part of that was part of the class was to tithe during the time of the class. And what I learned was that it worked so well that I just never stopped. The interesting thing about tithing is you don't have to necessarily understand exactly how it works. It's kind of like, you can drive a car without being a mechanic, or you can do things on a computer without having to know the internals of the computer or how to build the computer, or you could fly across the country without actually being a pilot. It's a matter of knowing the principle of the thing that you're wanting to make use of. And my experience with tithing has been that the more I embodied tithing into my life, the more unexpected sources of income appeared for me. I'm a computer contractor, and so I would go from one contract to another. And in the last 8 years, I've had multiple times when a contract would appear that I would never have expected. The contract I'm on right now, I've been there for 3 years, and it was just totally out of the blue. Somebody I'd been in contact with 10 years ago or more suddenly called me, totally unexpected. So I would invite you to consider just trying it out. And where should you tithe? Well, tithing is about giving back to where you get your spiritual nourishment. So hopefully the center is one of those places. One of the first times I tithed was probably about 15 years ago when through my work, I had gotten a rather large lump sum payment. And I decided to take 10% of that. And I went through and made a list of all the people and places and things that had spiritually fed me. And that was, sort of the first taste of tithing for me. But 8 years ago, I started doing it as a practice, as a discipline. And so I invite you to give it a try. It's something you don't have to actually have to understand how it works, just to know that it does work. Namaste.
Thank you, John. Lovely. Don't have to understand how it works, just know that it does work. It's one of the things we do on faith, but also there's a feeling tone. There's an energy that happens when you do it. It just feels right. It's the way we say thank you. And the universe has said so many great things for each and every one of us, so it's a wonderful way to give back. Also know that as we do our giving pledge, the other thing about this pledge that we're going to do right here, it talks about every good thing for CSL Simi Valley. I'd like to remind everyone that this pledge is not just to benefit the center, it's to benefit you. You are a member of CSL Simi Valley just by virtue of watching Verge today. Welcome to the family. Here we are. This is our pledge that we do each week. Join me. Say it out loud with yourself at home and your family who is joining you watching the service. Divine love is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love adjusts. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for CSL Simi Valley now. Divine love is victorious.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I surrender. I am one in the spirit around me. I surrender, I surrender, I trust in God. I trust in God.
And now bless these gifts that have come into the center, however they have arrived, knowing that the center thrives and grows with such gratitude for everyone here that knows and understands what we're all about and supports us. I am so grateful for the prosperity that is around us in and through every single one of us. I am grateful right here and now, and release these words into the law of mind, knowing it's done before they're said, and we see an explosion of prosperity right here and now for all of us. And so it is.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for a beautiful service. Thank you for joining into this service. I read the comments this morning. Great questions, great answers, great appreciation for all that has been happening. Of course, I give thanks with me to all the volunteers who made this service possible. It's really great to see all of you. And so here's the recap for Reverend Stephen's talk. So the name of the talk is What's in Your Wallet? So our mind is like a wallet. It's the identification of who we are. So powerful. What's in our wallet is the identification of who we are. What's in our minds is the identification of who we are. So we can choose to take inventory of our wallet, of our minds, right? In order to do that, we embrace our strengths, knowing we have the innate desire and strength to experience oneness. We develop a clear mind to look at our actions and what we're seeing happening in the world. And we choose heart power. We activate love. And from that space, we can heal our biases, knowing that we ourselves create our enemies and our friends through our choices, right? And when we do that, we deepen in our realization that we are one with all that is. And we say, here I am truth, I am wisdom, I am love, I am peace, and I am eternal goodness. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you in Après Verge. I will post it as soon as I put the mic down.
Thank you, Reverend Johanna. Wonderful. Wow, another service. We have gone through it. I want to remind you again about the upcoming comedy show that we're going to have with let's see, I think I'm a little hot there. The upcoming comedy show with Jason Love. So grateful that he has stepped up to support us with that. You can register at bit.ly /CSL comedy. That's bit.ly /CSL comedy. When you register there, you'll get a link that tells you how to open up into the comedy room on the 22nd. We've opened this up to the entire CSL community, so there'll be people coming from all over the country to join us for that day. It really I feel like it's going to be exciting. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay. Opry Verge coming up. Prayers available for you at the Opry Verge if you need that on one-on-one. And Johanna is posting that link for you right now. Let's close with our closing benediction, and then Sherry will sing our release. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love.
I release, I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. I'm only for God.
See you next week.